Hello, gentlemen. I've talked in the past about how stupid I think censorship is, especially when citing generalisations. I've said quite a bit on the subject in my old video, You Can't Generalise, link below in case you're interested. But what struck me the other day was probably the most important addendum to the discussion of why women hate generalisations so much that I only brushed on in that previous video. The following is my hypothesis as to why women love the exception to the rule and hate generalisations. So, why is it so common for women to feel affronted by a simple and often observable and sensible generalisation? Why, when one conveys reasonable sense, statistics, data, observable reality and proof, why does the average female screw her face up like you just forced her to eat a bag of lemons? Why can't she stomach general reality when you're simply describing how certain people or groups look, how things generally display as a trend? Why is her comeback an exceptional story like,
I know someone who isn't like that?
Well, this is my hypothesis. If there's one central concept I'd like you to retain from this video, it's this, gentlemen. She loves exceptions because exceptions are romantic. Let me repeat that. She loves exceptions because they're romantic. Think about that for a moment. Think about her romance movies and stories. It's always about something against all odds, some exceptional stroke of luck. It's somehow all worked out in the end. Wow, that was exceptionally lucky. Boy, what a story. She loves exceptions to the rules because exceptions are romantic. Her addictive chick flicks aren't based upon stable pragmatism of Jane simply picking a sensible guy in her fertile 20s and having the kids she's always wanted. No, her romantic ideals aren't about being generally sensible. Her romance is about recklessness and low odds. It's about living on the edge of responsibility and trusting it'll somehow all work out. Usually when a man comes along in the end and fixes or forgives her for all her past wrongdoings and fuck-ups. This is the common trope in the most popular romantic movies that women enjoy. You see, a sensible, mature love story is not exceptional to her. It's too general. It's boring. It's not romantic at all. The type of general, though logical, decision-making that would almost guarantee a woman future happiness with family and kids, should she want it, rubs against her gambler's ego. It insults the exceptional luck she feels she's owed. This addiction she has to the exceptional is common to observe when women even shame each other for merely being a dull, stay-at-home mother. How boring and unexceptional they think and shame each other, and instead insist on a superwoman who does it all fantasy. She gets tickled by the small chance of success, the exception to the common rule, because the exception, gentlemen, is romantic to her. By contrast to men, the exception are small odds to him. What's the fun in a sensible life, she thinks? Feels. She wants romance. Life must not be mathematically sensible and dull to her. That's a guy's nerd stuff. If a woman wants a family, rather than being practical and just picking a sensible, practical guy, she holds out for the exception. She holds out for the scenario of
our hands touched as we both reached for the same cantaloupe in the produce section of a quaint fruit stall in Tuscany, where I was volunteering for the UN after a refugee crisis.
Women's hypergamy holds out for this type of romantic exception. Women's hypergamy fights against generalisations. Women's nature fights against generalisations. That's why you keep hearing,
you can't generalise,
from female gynocentrism. This is where men beat their sensible heads against a brick wall trying to explain how 1 and 1 equal 2 with romantic women, which is to say almost all women. Women, the romantic exceptional hopers, will nod and find stats, while unchallengeable, cold and unappealing. Numbers don't tickle her, they don't make her come alive. Now defying the odds, that makes her come alive. Safe numbers are unsexy to her. Irrational chance is sexy to her. Is there any wonder they dislike the pragmatism of MGTOW? To a woman, if there's a 1% chance, she'll take it. She'll gamble her life away. And listen, the underlying reason women love the exception is because deep down, she wants to be the exception in her fairy tale life. She wants to feel herself to be the one woman you picked freely, not because she demanded your sole commitment to her and her alone. No. And even though every woman typically firmly forbids their men to sleep around on her, she chooses to somehow believe you freely don't want to, of your own accord, because she's so exceptional in her eyes. She's a Lamborghini, and all other women are a pair of roller skates. And look, if women think I'm exaggerating, then why do they forbid their men to have sex on the side? It's because she loves being exceptional, better and more special than anyone else. As an example, let's look at women's porn, that is, her romantic movies. Things like Bridget Jones's Diary. An average middle-aged neurotic fat woman, brave woman, that two objectively exceptional men are fighting over. It's so believable, isn't it? It's almost a documentary, isn't it, ladies? There's no rational reason as to why two alpha males would be fighting over a haggis like Bridget Jones, but I suppose it allows women to identify with her and be sold false hope. Yeah, keep eating from that tub of ice cream. McDreamy will be knocking on your door any day now. Or a popular example many of us have mentioned previously, 50 Shades of Grey, where a young, exceptionally good-looking billionaire Christian Grey desires an unexceptional, dull woman. Again, for no sensible reason at all. But chicks will believe in this because
love works in mysterious ways.
Or they'll convince themselves that somehow Mr. Grey is tired of these shallow supermodels. He wants a real woman. Yeah, keep believing in the most unlikely, far-fetched, exceptional scenario, ladies. We're to believe that Christian Grey, a billionaire with the highest standards, is somehow captivated by banality. Again, it lets the general woman have false hope that they're exceptional to some alpha male out there, simply because she's seen it on screen. It must be true. Men's actual porn, by comparison, is generally average-looking women simply saying yes to having sex. That's men's fantasy. In essence, making the sex that men desire easy, uncomplicated. It's not exceptional. Men's prostitution is easy and unexceptional too. A man pays X, he receives sex. Simple. There's no luck. Men's idea of finding Mrs. Right doesn't have movies of him paying for a hooker, then surprised at how much he suddenly loves her heart of gold, and then decides how she'll make a great mother for his child. That's women's ridiculous, nonsensical, exceptional, romantic fantasy. That movie's called Pretty Woman. It's not anything men take seriously at all. You know, I've said it before. Men generally, notwithstanding the few idiots out there, don't try and turn a stripper into a wife. But women's fantasies, women's dumb, irresponsible romanticism has women hoping to land a Christian Grey through sheer fucking luck, or turn a bad boy into a nice guy. 50 Shades of Grey, being the fastest selling book in the history of mankind, says a lot about the difference of what women say and what women actually are. And in terms of women believing themselves to be exceptional, consider the dating game too. How many men are told to pursue a particular special girl simply because you're told she is that one girl, the special exception to all the rest out there? She's told she's the Ark of the Covenant and you're Indiana, and she believes she's that jewel too. Her perception of love owed towards her and the maintenance of it on the male's part is supposed to command exceptional effort from him. Because again, she's the princess you must win. She's not like you, a mere male person, a general person who goes about treating others as they'd like to be treated. No, her actions, not what she says, but her actions, gentlemen, show us what the exceptional female feels about herself. And you, in contrast to her. Cinderella wants the prince, not the commoner, not the average man. To her, she's entitled to the exceptional in her eyes because she's worth it. And we note she never does or acts exceptionally herself. She simply believes herself to be so. That's enough for her. Her belief of herself as the exception is her foundational reality. And a man must subscribe to agreeing to this grandiosity, lest she deny vaginal access. And so what do most men do? Mouth her ridiculous false and exceptional platitudes. That she demands, he say, agree that her water is wine so that his biology can access her biology. Men are always trying to find out what women want. Even if it's a lie, she wants to hear from you. There's never a movie to inform women what men want. They know what we want, but they don't care. Keep lying to her and she's happy. Happy life, happy wife, as it were. And she believes it. She thinks, see, I am exceptional. Look at how he agrees with me. No, in her eyes, the man must actually do the exceptional to be worthy of her delusional self, of her ego, in essence. The man is encouraged to actually become exceptional to get through her ego's demands. To get the eggs his biology wants, he has to achieve objective exceptionality through deeds, money, protecting, providing, status, security, etc., and directing this all towards her as tactile proof that she can believe herself exceptional because she is around an exceptional male. Again, women hate generalizations because generalizations are common. They're unromantic. Unromantic generalizations are not special. You see, they can be measured. They can be scrutinized under cause and effect. That's why it's unexceptional to women. For her to have kids in her 20s with a man who wants her? No, it's more exciting and exceptional for a man, somehow, to want her when her uterus resembles Detroit in middle age. Why would a young or older man, for that matter, want grandma? We ask women this. Well, because in her world, MILFs are rare. It's an exceptional fetish. And it's not that women are especially dumb, but they have huge egos about their desirability towards men. They think it lasts until men drop dead. And combine that with their distaste for responsibility, you have a psychotic combination. Today's female feels the laws of nature relate to the world, but not to their exceptional selves. They believe they're worth it, but not others. They're special. They're the amazing story every bitch out there will be jealous of. They're the exception because somehow they're going to have a healthy child in their 40s with a chiseled, handsome, intelligent, rich guy because she held out for that exception all her life because, she's special, because she has high standards. To wait that long for perfection, that's her rationale. I talked about this in my video about older women thinking they can out-hope nature in my video, The Expired Lottery Tickets, link below. So no, let's not be sensibly happy girls with sound generalizations that could benefit your future, however unromantic they might be, in your reproductive 20s. No, let's gamble your entire lives away on being the Guinness Book of Records exceptional fluke that makes the news someday as you show all your girlfriends that you've beaten the odds. I don't know about you, but I see a gambler's mentality with the modern female. To her, it's a boring story to pick Mr. Right in her 20s and settle down if she wants that. What a dull movie that is, she thinks. How unexceptional. No, she wants to be tickled by the exceptional, the romantic situation. Again, this is why women hate generalizations. This is why they love the exception. They want to be the exception. Anyway, I thought this was an interesting way to tie women's dislike of generalizations because their hypergamy loves the romantic exception. She loves the exception because the exception is romantic. Ergo, it's why generalizations are insulting to the female church of romantic hope. Because you are in effect insulting her dream. Because in her eyes, she's not general. She's not just any woman. She's the exceptional woman. Some food for thought anyway, gentlemen. Later. If you appreciate my content and want to say thanks, you can donate via the links below. A massive thank you to the recent donations of people on screen now. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. And let me know if you'd rather not have your name shown on screen. And finally, like, comment, subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified of my next video. If you're still not being notified of my videos, I've outlined some steps in the low bar. Thanks guys.